Morphology and pathogenesis, you should know clinical diagnosis, epidemiology, what is the status in India and what is the status in the worldwide, laboratory diagnosis and post-exposure prophylaxis. So this part I will take in the next second class, laboratory diagnosis and PEP. Now this could be history like this, because the question will be clinical one. The question may be like this: a 25-year-old male with history of multiple sex partner, fever, progressive loss of weight, persistent diarrhea, generalized lymphadenopathy. These are defined separately. What is called persistent diarrhea in HIV patients? How long when you will call it a persistent diarrhea? That could be loss of weight. How much loss of weight? There is a definition. How much loss of weight will be called a significant loss of weight? And persistent generalized lymphadenopathy, PGL. These are terms specifically used in HIV or immune suppressed patients. So pathogenesis and laboratory diagnosis. Another patient, maybe this kind of question may come. A truck driver, history of a truck driver with history of fever, progressive loss of weight, that is more than 10% of the body weight, and persistent diarrhea for more than 1 month. So underlying clinical disease, laboratory diagnosis and causes of persistent diarrhea. Another question, baby of 1 month presented with ICDC clinic, mother being ICDC positive. ICDC is a center for diagnosis of HIV. So, because the difference in the diagnosis in children up to 18 months, the diagnostic test is different. That's why a separate question I have kept for the baby of 1 month. Now, what is HIV? Human, found only in humans. It affects gorilla and chimpanzee, but it does not goes to AIDS, acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, and in other animals or other animal model is not available. You should know why the HIV does not occur in other animals other than chimpanzee, gorilla, because they don't have the receptor, CD4 cell. Typical character of CD4 cell is not available in other animals, that is, it is a human only virus. Transmitted among humans, preventable by humans, and immunodeficiency, body lacks the ability to fight off infections, virus, so type of germ. So this is HIV. It lives and reproduces in the body cell only, and all the virus, they cannot live without a cellular background. Inside the cell, they can only survive and proliferate inside the cell. What is AIDS? That is acquired. It is received, not inherited. So it is not genetic, but there is vertical transmission. Mother to child transmission is one of the common mode of transmission, but it is not inherited, no genetic, not in family. Immuno means protected from, system protects the body, so there is a loss of protection and deficiency, a lack of immuno. Syndrome, a group of symptoms or disease. So you should tell everybody about your awareness about HIV. This slide, the last few slides I have taken from the National HIV or STI site. Another term, people living with HIV. This is another term you should remember, PLHIV. It is one of the important part of epidemiology. Now morphology. Why it is called a retrovirus? It is an RNA virus, but the HIV virus is called a retrovirus. Why it is called a retrovirus? Because it contains an enzyme reverse transcriptase reverse transcriptase can change the RNA to DNA for integration. So that's why it is called a retrovirus. They got a unique enzyme, reverse transcriptase, that directs the synthesis of DNA from the viral RNA after infection. There are two genus. One is lentivirus that contains HIV1 and 2, and delta retrovirus contains HTLV1. History: the first case was detected in New York in 1981 of HIV1 from Pasteur Institute, Paris, believed to be acquired from chimpanzees by cross-species infection of the simian counterpart. So structure. This is a complicated picture. To remember this simply, I have drawn a picture. First you think there is two single-stranded RNA is there. Two single-stranded RNA and there are three enzymes are there. So from this part, single-stranded RNA and reverse transcriptase and integrase enzyme. This is the core part contains the P24 antigen, and then this lipid envelope. This is the lipid envelope, and that consent to this part. Transmembrane protein is GP41, and the knob-like structure, that is the main receptor, is GP120. It is usually attaches with the CD4 cell. When we will come to the attachment, though this GP20 acts and the attachment with the knob-like surface structure. So here again, two single-stranded RNA, core is P24 and this transmembrane protein is GP41 and the knob-like structure is GP120 for the attachment with CD4 cells. So CD4 receptor. Can you tell which cells contain CD4 receptor? Which are the cells in our body which have CD4 receptors? T? T, which T? There are three types of cell. One is T helper cell. Next is macrophage. These are the two most common cells which contain CD4 receptor. T helper cell and macrophage, they contain the CD4 receptor. Capsid is icosahedral symmetry made up of core protein, two identical copies of single-stranded RNA, that is positive sense. What is the difference between positive sense and negative sense? Positive sense, they can act as messenger RNA and can produce protein. So that is the difference, and negative sense cannot produce protein directly. So this is positive sense means they can act as mRNA. Viral enzyme, three enzymes, reverse transcriptase, integrase and protease. All are required for the replication in the human body. All retrovirus, this is not only for HIV, they contain this GAG, PRO, POL and N. This is for all retrovirus. For HIV, three structural genes, GAG, POL and N, and six non-structural or regulatory genes are there for HIV. GAG gene codes for the core. It contains P55, which has two parts. One is P18 and P24. P24, you should remember, this is a very important core protein and that is required for the diagnosis, early diagnosis for HIV. P24 antigen is one of the most important marker for early diagnosis. So this P24 antigen, that is a part of core protein. POL means they are containing viral enzyme, reverse transcriptase, protease and integrase. They clipped into P31, P51, P66. Even if you don't remember the P part, you remember the three enzymes that is reverse transcriptase, protease and integrase. Envelope gene, they are GP160 divided in two parts, GP120 and GP41, which I have already told. This GP knob-like structure is GP120 and this transmembrane protein is GP41. What are the non-structural genes? Viral replication, important in disease pathogenesis. Essentially, regulatory genes are TAT, transcription transactivator, NEF, negative factor and RAVE genes. And another gene is VIF or viral infectivity factor, VPR and VPU gene. This part you should remember. Two questions explain how it comes. Why there is no vaccine for HIV, why it can do immune evasion in human body. These are the causes for human immune evasion, and also the vaccine is not produced till date for HIV. See, high rates of mutation, error-prone nature of the reverse transcriptase, that's why there is a high range of mutation there, most notably in envelope gene, and major target against which antibodies are produced. So, envelope protein, major target, but if it changes, the antibody will not work. That's why one part. Second part is mutation in NV gene are the main reason which explains why HIV evades the host immune response and vaccination against HIV is extremely difficult. So, this is one explain why question. There is antigenic variation. Usually, RNA virus has more antigenic variation than DNA. And here the envelope gene is the most common site for mutation and antigenic variation. That's why it can evade immune system. Even why the AIDS progresses? Because antibody produced against one type of gene and it mutates, and so that human antibody cannot stop or prevent the further disease. That's why HIV progresses. So mutation and error-prone nature of reverse transcriptase. So, HIV evades host immune response. Now, serotyping and genotyping. HIV is divided into HIV 1 and 2. It is divided in HIV 1 and 2. It is further divided into M, N, O. M is the dominant group, and this all M part is divided into A to J clade. So, this is the division. M is the main group, HIV1 divided into 3 groups, that is major, N and outlier. M is the dominant group, it has a 10 subtypes A to J. What is the most common in India? In India and in Southeast Asia, C is most common. In Europe, B is more common. In Africa, A is more common. But you must remember which is most common in India, that is the C subtype or C clade is the most common in India and Southeast Asia. HIV2 comprises of 8 groups, A to H, and group A is most common. When you do the HIV test, if you go to central lab, you can see the HIV kit has 2 parts, HIV1 and HIV2. So it should be, both should be excluded and HIV. Now pathogenesis. First, for transmission, how the HIV can be transmitted from human to human. There are 2 divisions. The question comes like this: what is the most efficient mode and what is the most common mode? Either the most common mode or most efficient mode. Most efficient, that is the transmission rate is highest. So can anybody tell what is the most efficient mode or what is the rate of transmission is maximum in which, and rate of transmission most common mode? So most common mode is sexual mode. And most efficient mode is blood transfusion. Blood transfusion can infect 90% of the patients. So it is 90% efficiency is and the sexual mode is about 88 to 89% the mode of transmission. So most common mode and most efficient mode, question can come like this even in MCQ or transmission of HIV. So this is the transmission. Blood transfusion, risk of transmission is 90%. But worldwide only 5% cases of HIV are due to blood transfusion, and in India it is 1%. Why the transmission rate has decreased due to blood transfusion? Anybody any idea? Everything has a window period. So until the antibody develops, we wouldn't be able to detect the HIV in blood, donated blood. But P24 antigen, when the 4th generation test has come, they also detect the 4th generation of antigen. That 4th generation of kit, whether it is a ELISA or a other kit, that also contains a antibody to detect P24 antigen. That's why the transmission has decreased. In India, the blood, sorry, in blood bank, the PCR is not mandatory, but in USA, PCR is mandatory for P24 antigen before giving any transfusion. That's why it is much lesser in USA or other country, but in other world, 5% cases are due to blood transfusion, and India 1% cases. Parent to child, vertical transmission. Vertical transmission is 5.4. Sexual intercourse 88.9%. Vaginal intercourse 87.4, anal intercourse 1.5, and injection drug user 1.6, needle stick injury 1%. You remember this, needle stick exposure. Needle stick exposure we talked about it in hepatitis B. What is the percentage chance of getting hepatitis B after a needle stick injury from a hepatitis B positive patients? It is around 30%, but in HIV it is 0.3%. So HIV after needle stick injury, the chance of transmission is only 0.3%, and in hepatitis B this question has come in this year probe. What is the percentage of chance of transmission for hepatitis B, hepatitis C and HIV for transmission after a needle stick injury? It is 0.3% for HIV, 3% for HCV and 30% for hepatitis B. So this is the chance of transmission, HIV, HCV and hepatitis B positive patient. So most common is sexual, followed by vertical transmission and followed by needle stick IV drug abusers, and then followed by needle stick injury. So needle stick injury is the least common. So what is the most common method of transmission is sexual transmission, followed by vertical transmission and followed by IV drug abusers and followed by needle stick injury. This is the most common, and most efficient is maximum blood transfusion followed by vertical transmission, IV drug and needle stick injury. So these are the most common and most efficient mode of transmission of HIV. Viral load is maximum in blood, genital secretion and CSF. Sexual mode is by far the most common mode of transmission. Heterosexual route is more common than homosexual route. Blood transfusion, though least common, but it is the highest risk of transmission. Percutaneous or mucosal transmission, needle stick injury, injection drug abuser, sharing razor, tattooing, splashes of infected blood on eyes, etc. among the less effective mode. Perinatal mode 20 to 40% if untreated. 20 to 40% is if the patient or the mother is untreated, then it is 20 to 40%. Viral load is maximum in blood, genital section, CSF, and in variable in breast milk and saliva. Should you stop breastfeeding in a HIV positive mother? What is the dictum in India? Should we stop breastfeeding? So breastfeeding is not stopped in Indian context because advantage is more than the disadvantage, and the baby is tested for whether patient having HIV, and the medicine is antiretroviral medicine is given to the child. So breastfeeding is not stopped in HIV. Which body fluids contains HIV? Semen, breast milk, blood. These contains the HIV. Which do not contain, you cannot get HIV from tears, saliva, sweat and urine. These body secretion do not contain HIV. So HIV cannot be transmitted through tears, saliva, sweat, urine on HIV infected patient. What is window period? It is usually asked, it is important for laboratory diagnosis also. So what is window period? It may take 6 weeks or up to 3 months before the antibodies to HIV are detected. So antibody against HIV-1 and HIV-2. The HIV test looks like for antibodies. So when these antibodies, so what is window period? Window period is introduction of infection and the development of antibody. That is called window period. Now what is the window period in hepatitis B? Hepatitis B, what is the window period? Can anybody tell hepatitis B? What is the window period in hepatitis B? Here the introduction, it is very simple. Introduction of the infection and appearance of antibody. But in hepatitis B, it is bit different. You should remember the hepatitis B window period in hepatitis B is disappearance of hepatitis B surface antigen HBsAg and appearance of anti-HBs. So this part is window period in case of hepatitis B. Disappearance of hepatitis B surface antigen and appearance of anti-hepatitis B surface antigen antibody. So this is different in hepatitis B. All others, this is the introduction of infection and appearance of antibody. So receptor, why it does not occur in other animal or in other. So GP120 attaches with the main knob-like structure with CD4, and GP41 is transmembrane protein. So GP41 is transmembrane protein, but some co-receptors are required for the attachment along with the receptor CXCR4 and CCR5. These macrophage CCR5. So these are co-receptors. Without this co-receptor, the attachment will not be complete. The co-receptor are CXCR4 in T lymphocyte and CCR5 in macrophage. Have you seen any cure of HIV? Any history of cure of HIV? There is history of cure of HIV. There are 7 cases in the world which the patient was cured of HIV, not of any medicine. These two receptors, you remember CXCR4 and CCR5. DC sign is a receptor in the dendritic cell. There is another cell which HIV can attach, that is dendritic cell. What is another importance of dendritic cell? It is the most efficient antigen presenting cell. APC dendritic cell is the most common or the most efficient antigen presenting cell. Here is some mutation. There is a called a delta 32 mutation. This delta 32 mutation usually seen in European people only. It is not seen in Indian. Very few people have delta 32 mutation in their body. Due to the delta 32 mutation, they are completely resistant to HIV infection, but if susceptible progression of AIDS is delayed. তোমরা পরের দিন জেনে আসবে নাম, পেশেন্টের নাম আমি বললাম না, that patient had HIV and also something which need a bone marrow transplantation. Bone marrow transplantation he received from a patient who had this delta 32 mutation and the patient was cured of HIV. এটা নেটে আছে, নেটে দেখবে, and you tell me the name in the next class. Delta 32 mutation the patient, and there are another 6 patients which were cured of HIV due to the presence of delta 32 mutation in the CCR5. এই delta 32 mutation টা কোথায় হয়? CCR5 co-receptor. CCR5 co-receptor delta 32 mutation থাকলে patient either resistant to HIV or patient যদি acquire করে delta 32 mutation, patient can be cured of. Now replication, how the replication occur? These are the steps: fusion, penetration and uncoating, reverse transcription, pre-integration complex, integration and latency. These are the part. So first the virus getting attached with the CD4 receptor and co-receptor, it is going endocytic uptake. Here it's partial uncoating. Uncoating means after the receptor attachment, already we have discussed about receptor attachment. After receptor attachment, the single-stranded RNAs are released in the cytoplasm of the cell. So single-stranded RNA is released along with the enzyme. These are in the cell. You need to remember, because this is a part of diagnosis. Why the diagnosis in children is different? It's part. After single-stranded RNA, it converts to single-stranded DNA. By which enzyme? That is reverse transcriptase. Reverse transcriptase enzyme convert the single-stranded RNA to single-stranded DNA. This single-stranded DNA is converted to double-stranded DNA, and that integrates with the nucleus of the cell. So this is the main part of replication, the attachment with CD4 cells along with the co-receptor, uncoating of the HIV virus, single-stranded RNA and the enzymes are released in the cytoplasm. After the release, this reverse transcriptase enzyme converts the single-stranded RNA to single-stranded DNA. The single-stranded DNA is converted to double-stranded DNA, and then it integrates with the nucleus. This integration, integration a core enzyme lagbe, this is integrase. Integrase is the enzyme required. After it integrates with the nucleus, everyone has understood this part. The single-stranded RNA converted to DNA, then double-stranded DNA, and it is being integrated with the nucleus. This host cell nucleus along with the DNA is called proviral DNA. Proviral DNA, the integrated nucleus along with the HIV DNA. That's why in children, in RNA virus, what PCR we usually do? We usually do reverse transcriptase PCR for RNA virus. But in case of children up to 18 months, if you want to diagnose the HIV, you have to do a DNA PCR. Because in that child, they may be at this stage. So DNA PCR for children up to 18 months. Up to 18 months of age. So sometimes the question may come, the diagnosis of HIV in children or up to 18 months, where it is maybe in the stage of proviral DNA, then you need to check for the DNA PCR, not the RNA PCR of HIV. So this part. After that, proviral DNA, there is multiplication, the integration, transcription that means new protein are developed, genomic RNA again developed, packaging and budding from the cell, and it spreads, the viremia occurs. So this is the step, RNA dependent DNA polymerase activity of the reverse transcriptase, then ribonuclease activity, then DNA polymerase activity. I have not separated these three parts of enzyme, you need not, but you must remember the single stranded RNA converting to single stranded DNA and double stranded DNA. These all are part of reverse transcriptase enzyme, and integration with the host nucleus due to integrase. Now this is a typical progressor, rapid progressor, long-term non-progressor, and elite controller. Short note can come from this part. What is typical progressor? Within 10 years, it develops a full-blown AIDS. But this is without treatment. This is not with treatment, with antiretroviral therapy. Without treatment, a typical progressor develops AIDS within 10 years, full-blown AIDS. Rapid progressor, they can develop within 2 to 3 years. And long-term, non-progressor and elite controller. Long-term means it will going to develop HIV. Multiplication is there, but RNA are less than 5,000, even after 10 years or 30 years. And when the RNA copy is less than 50, it is called elite controller. This is 80 to 90% of this is the natural course, typical progressor. If it is patient is left untreated, it will go to full-blown AIDS in 10 years. Initial part, I am coming in details to this also. So, these are the part. Following infection, HIV carried to the lymph nodes and other lymphoid tissue, where further multiplication occurs. HIV destroys the infected T cells and spills over the bloodstream to cause primary viremia. This coincides with the initial flu-like illness. So, patient may come to you like initial flu-like illness, you have to take a history of sexual exposure or blood transfusion. So, flu-like illness, it occurs in 50 to 75% patient within 3 to 6 weeks. There is a significant drop in the numbers of circulating CD4 T cells. Adequate immune response developed within 1 month, both effective cell-mediated immune response, that is HIV-specific CD8 cells and HIV-specific antibodies. Viremia drops and CD4 T cells count becomes normal. State of clinical latency but not microbiological disease. Remember this word, this question can come as I explain why. After the initial 3 to 6 weeks, patient may be very well. There is no symptom, patient feeling well without treatment. That is due to the development of CD8 cell against HIV and antibody. But if you do a PCR, the RNA copies will be there. So there is no microbiological latency, it is only clinical latency. This question is one of the another explain why this time the patient have the clinical latency but don't have the microbiological latency. This is asymptomatic stage or clinical latency stage. Immune response cannot clear completely. Human response cannot clear. We already have an antigenic variation. There is a mutation in the HIV. So the antibody or the T cell response cannot clear the HIV completely. May last for 10 years, but may ranges from few months to 30 years. Once latency is broken, the disease progresses rapidly and death usually occurs in the 2 years. So this time you have to start the antiretroviral therapy, because with antiretroviral therapy, present statistics is there, the HIV positive patient have a similar lifespan to non-HIV patients. If you give the proper monitoring and the treatment with antiretroviral therapy, patient lifespan is almost same. And another thing, you have to prevent the opportunistic infections. As a result of HIV, this is another question, persistent generalized lymphadenopathy. Initially in question I have mentioned persistent generalized lymphadenopathy, PGL. What is PGL? It is defined as lymph node, enlarged lymph nodes of more than 1 centimeter in size in 2 or more non-contiguous sites. So if you have only cervical lymph node, 2, that is not PGL. You have to do different parts, site at different site, non-contiguous site. So the lymph node size more than 1 centimeter, 2 or more non-contiguous site, and that persists for at least 3 months. So these 3 points you have to mention if PGL as a short note, or persistent generalized lymphadenopathy. What is persistent generalized lymphadenopathy? So duration is more than 3 months. The size of the lymph node should be more than 1 centimeter and should be non-contiguous site. তার মানে cervical lymph node right side or left side হলে হবে না। Symptomatic. After variable period of clinical latency, CD4 T cells level starts falling. Eventually, patient develop constitutional symptom, unexplained diarrhea for more than 1 month, weight loss more than 10%, and fatigue, malaise, and night sweat. Advanced stage, rapid fall in CD4 T cell count, usually less than 200, high viral load, lymphoid tissue is totally destroyed, development of neoplasia like CNS lymphoma, opportunistic infection, secondary to profound immune suppression, and development of direct HIV-induced manifestation as HIV encephalopathy. So this is the part of AIDS advanced stage. One is CD4 cell count is decreasing gradually, viral load. If you do a quantitative PCR you can get RNA copies of HIV. Lymphoid tissue is totally destroyed by fibrous tissue, so antibody will not be produced. Opportunistic infection will come in, development of neoplasia like CNS lymphoma, and HIV-induced HIV encephalopathy. This slide is very important. Many questions come from the opportunistic infection at which CD4 level. At which CD4 level, which infection occurs? ওই টেবিলটা যদি মুশকিল হয় CD4 less than 400 কি হবে? Less than 350 কি হবে? Less than 300, less than 200, and less than 50. You must remember 400 ki hobe? Kaposi sarcoma. So at 400, Kaposi sarcoma usually occur in below 500, bacterial skin infection, herpes simplex, and fungal infection. This can occur at 500. 400, Kaposi sarcoma. Kaposi sarcoma ke kon virus kore? What is Kaposi sarcoma virus er একটা নাম Kaposi sarcoma virus. What is the other name of Kaposi sarcoma virus? Human herpes virus 8. Human herpes virus 8 is the causative agent for Kaposi sarcoma. 350 তে কি হবে? Mycobacterium tuberculosis. Mycobacterium tuberculosis is usually around 350 or 300. Hairy cell 300, hairy cell leukoplakia. Oral hairy cell leukoplakia. এইটা কে করে? What is the causative agent of oral hairy cell leukoplakia? Causative agent কি? What is the causative agent for hairy cell leukoplakia? এগুলো যে কোনোটা থেকে শর্ট নোট আসতে পারে। Oral hairy leukoplakia is caused by Epstein-Barr virus. Epstein-Barr virus. Next, around 200 PCP, pneumocystis pneumoniae. PCP ke kore? PCP, what is the causative agent of pneumocystis jirovecii? It causes an atypical pneumonia in HIV patient below 200. PCP is still the name because the initial name was pneumocystis carini. It is now changed. It is been renamed as pneumocystis jirovecii. It usually causes an atypical pneumonia. That means patient will not have cough. You have to diagnose like cyst-like structure in bowel fluid only because patient will not have a productive cough. Atypical pneumonia will be there. And that is pneumocystis jirovecii. Cryptococcosis, that is cryptococcal. What it causes? What is the common manifestation of cryptococcal infection in HIV? Cryptococcal meningitis. Cryptococcal meningitis is the common infection. Other skin infection can also be caused by Cryptococcus neoformans. So Cryptococcus neoformans is other infection, toxoplasmosis, and below 50. What is MAC? Cytomegalovirus and lymphoma. Cytomegalovirus you all know. MAC, full form, anybody? Huh? Yes, Mycobacterium avium intracellular complex. It is a non-tubercular mycobacteria that is occurs when CD4 counts less than 50. Clinical diagnosis. Clinical diagnosis. There are two systems, either a WHO classification or CDC classification. I am discussing the WHO classification, which is there mostly. Two systems, CDC classification and WHO staging. This is the clinical stage 1, asymptomatic HIV infection or persistent generalized lymphadenopathy. Clinical stage 2, unexplained moderate weight loss less than 10%. Moderate means less than 10%. Recurrent respiratory tract infection, sinusitis, tonsillitis, otitis media, herpes zoster, angular cheilitis, recurrent oral ulcer, papular pruritic eruption, seborrheic dermatitis, fungal nail infection. This means the CD4 is around 500 or more. Around 500 or more, that's why this is infection. Then the clinical stage 3, unexplained severe weight loss, unexplained chronic diarrhea, unexplained persistent fever for more than 1 month, oral candidiasis, oral hairy leukoplakia, pulmonary tuberculosis, severe bacterial pneumonia, acute necrotizing ulcerative stomatitis, and unexplained anemia or neutropenia or chronic thrombocytopenia. Weight loss to jante hobe 10%. Unexplained chronic diarrhea. Unexplained chronic diarrhea, HIV patient, what is the suspected organism? কোনগুলো? Unexplained diarrhea কি কি কারণে হয়? HIV, Cryptosporidium, Parvum commonest, Cystoisospora. So these are the causes of Cryptosporidium is the commonest cause, and there are 3. I will discuss is the HIV wasting syndrome, slim disease characterized by profound weight loss, chronic diarrhea and prolonged unexplained fever. So any patient coming to you with high risk people having this feature, weight loss more than 10%, persistent diarrhea more than 1 month, or persistent generalized lymphadenopathy or prolonged unexplained fever. So HIV is one part. When you read PUO, pyrexia of unknown origin, there is 2 classifications. One is PUO in HIV and PUO others. So PUO in HIV should be worked up like that. Bacterial opportunistic infection, recurrent severe bacterial infection, extrapulmonary tuberculosis, disseminated non-tubercular mycobacterial infection, recurrent septicemia. Viral opportunistic infection, chronic HSV, progressive multifocal leukoencephalopathy, and cytomegalovirus. Cytomegalovirus usually occurs when CD4 cell count less than 50. Stage 4, fungal opportunistic infection, pneumocystis jirovecii pneumonia, esophageal candidiasis, extrapulmonary cryptococcosis, that is meningitis, disseminated mycosis, toxoplasma encephalitis, chronic interstitial cystoisosporiasis more than 1 month, atypical. So parasitic opportunistic infection, already I have mentioned, persistent diarrhea is usually parasitic, either Cryptosporidium or Cystoisospora. Atypical disseminated leishmaniasis, Kaposi's sarcoma, invasive cervical cancer, and lymphoma. So another question, a short note can come, what are the neoplasia that occurs in HIV? So these are the 3 common neoplasia or cancer that can occur in HIV. One is Kaposi's sarcoma, human herpes virus 8, invasive cervical cancer, and lymphoma. HIV encephalopathy, symptomatic HIV associated nephropathy or cardiomyopathy. Lab diagnosis in the next class along with the part of opportunistic infection important. HIV prevalence, you should know it is 0.21% in adults. It continues to have a steady decline since 2000. Northeast states. Now what is the most highest number of PL-HIV কোন স্টেটে আছে? People living with HIV, highest কোথায়? People living with HIV, which is the state has the highest prevalence. Highest prevalence means new and old case, that is prevalence. So what is the state, which state has the highest prevalence? Yes, good. Maharashtra and Andhra Pradesh, these are the 2 has the highest prevalence. People living was the worst affected, followed by Andhra Pradesh, here it is written. And what is the most common new occurrence? New occurrence is northeastern state. Northeastern state like Nagaland and Mizoram. Nagaland and Mizoram has the highest new occurrence of HIV. আর কিছু আছে? এইটা সবাই জানা উচিত, and you can tell other people also. The HIV is a major global public health issue. There is no cure for HIV. An estimated 630,000 people died of HIV related disease. And 1.3 million people have acquired new HIV in 2023 worldwide. This is a statistic from World Health Organization. 39.9 million people are living with HIV at the end of 2023. 65% whom are African region. So Africa has the highest prevalence and new occurrence of HIV. একটা স্লাইড দিয়ে আমি শেষ করব। দিস ইজ হচ্ছে পার্ট, আমাদের টার্গেট হচ্ছে all should know, 95% should know the status of HIV and 95% should be under treatment. So this 95 part is still in 2093, people who know their HIV status, people who know their status and are on ART, and who are on ART and virally suppressed. So these 3 parts, our target is 95. But 95% people having HIV should know their status, they are HIV positive. 95% of those patients should be having antiretroviral therapy, highly active. Now it is called HAART, highly active retroviral therapy, and they are virally suppressed. Monitoring is also done. ART center is mandatory in all medical college along with the ICCC center, that is the diagnostic test. পরের দিন তোমরা ডায়াগনোসিসটা ক্লিনিক্যাল ডায়াগনোসিস পড়ে এসো along with the NACO strategy. We will discuss that part along with the some important opportunistic infection.